And now, back to this that had a lot to say about me the other day in the press. Miley, what's good?
Award shows aren't just about glitz and glam. They're also the perfect stage for celebrity paybacks. From subtle jabs to public showdowns, some stars have used their acceptance speeches to settle scores and make sure their voices are heard. Drake, Taylor Swift, and Kanye West have all turned these moments into power moves, flipping the script and leaving us wondering, what happens when the spotlight becomes the perfect weapon? Let's discover. Number 17. Jim Carrey. Have you ever wondered how far a celebrity will go to get their revenge on an award show? Well, Jim Carrey certainly pushed those boundaries. During the Golden Globes, the two-time winner decided to throw the script out the window and use his moment in the spotlight to roast not just the event, but Hollywood itself. With biting sarcasm, even went so far as to joke about his dreams of becoming a three-time winner, all while implying that these awards were completely meaningless. It was a masterclass in improvisational humor, but as funny as his delivery was, it crossed a line. The backlash was instant, and this was the last time Carrey would be invited to host any major award show. Hollywood stars, who were used to rehearsed speeches and polished images, had never seen anything like it before. Number 16. Michael B. Jordan. Imagine running into the person who used to bully you, but this time, you're the one with the power and the microphone. Michael B. Jordan had that exact moment at the Creed 3 premiere, where he was approached by an interviewer who, in a moment of nostalgia, claimed they went way back. But what she didn't expect was Jordan's quick-witted revenge. The interviewer, who had once referred to Michael as a corny kid back in high school, misquoted him yet again during their interview. Instead of letting it slide like most would, Michael seized the moment to remind her of their past and not to mention the bullying. With a deadpan expression, he bluntly corrected her and called out her earlier misquote, creating a tense atmosphere. Michael had turned the tables, showing that the corny kid had become a man with the power to shut down old enemies. Michael B. Jordan was no longer anyone's punching bag. Number 15. Ricky Gervais roasts Robert Downey Jr. The 68th Golden Globes were supposed to be a night of celebration, but Ricky Gervais turned it into a savage roast, targeting Robert Downey Jr.'s troubled past in front of the whole world. Known for his sharp humor and willingness to push boundaries, Gervais was welcoming the Iron Man star on stage. With a rather sinister smile, he then cracked jokes about Robert's well-publicized battles with addiction, rehab, and even his time in jail. Suffice to say, his comments crossed the line into being a full-blown attack, making fun of one of Hollywood's most beloved stars. Gervais, who seemed unbothered by the potential fallout, set the tone for what would become one of the most controversial award shows in recent memory. Despite the tension in the room, Downey Jr. took the jabs like a champ, throwing a cheeky remark right back at Gervais. It was the kind of awkward, comedic tension only Gervais could orchestrate, both brutal and funny. The moment was unforgettable, not only for the cringe-worthy jokes, but for the breathtaking audacity of Ricky's actions. By turning the Golden Globes into his personal comedy stage, he created a spectacle that no one could ignore, ensuring that the night would forever be remembered for all the wrong reasons. Number 14. Eminem vs. Triumph, the insult comic dog. In the early 2000s, Eminem was known for pushing limits, but it wasn't just the music that made waves. During the 2002 MTV VMAs, the rapper had a confrontation that would become a defining moment in pop culture. Triumph, the insult comic dog, a puppet comedian known for mercilessly roasting celebrities, had targeted Eminem on the red carpet. Triumph, with his trademark sarcasm, didn't hold back, mocking Eminem's looks and attitude. But Slim Shady wasn't one to back down either. He shoved the puppet, sending a message loud and clear, "Don't mess with me." The confrontation quickly went viral, with people debating whether Eminem had gone too far, or if Triumph had finally met his match. Triumph's jabs were meant to poke fun at Eminem's persona, but in one swift move, the rapper showed the world that he wasn't going to be anyone's punchline. Number 13. Reese Witherspoon's subtle jab at Kim Kardashian. Reese Witherspoon's acceptance speech for the MTV Generation Award in 2010 delivered a quiet but sharp blow to Hollywood's newer, more controversial stars. As she praised the power of hard work and passion in the entertainment industry, she subtly dissed reality TV stars, specifically calling out those who had built their fame on a different kind of fame, like Kim Kardashian. At the time, Kim was already known for her infamous tape and reality show, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, a formula that Reese clearly wasn't impressed by. Reese, on the other hand, identified herself as coming from a slightly older generation of actors who had built their career on talent rather than scandal. Even though she didn't take any names, the Kardashians were at the height of pop culture at the time, so the audience knew exactly who she was talking about. In one speech, Reese had managed to take a stand against an entire generation of stars who rose to fame for all the wrong reasons, proving that sometimes the most effective revenge isn't loud or confrontational. Number 12. Nicki Minaj versus Miley Cyrus at the VMAs. The 2015 MTV VMAs will forever be remembered for one of the most dramatic, live-on-stage confrontations between two of pop music's biggest stars, Nicki Minaj and Miley Cyrus. The tension had been building for months after Miley made comments in an interview that seemed to criticize Nicki's outspokenness about race and the VMAs snubbing her music video. Nicki, known for her fiery personality, wasn't about to let that slide. During her acceptance speech for Best Hip Hop Video, Nicki took the microphone and, without hesitation, called out Miley directly. "Miley, what's good?" Miley, caught completely off guard, tried to laugh it off, but the tension was palpable. Nicki wasn't just defending herself. Rather, she was calling out Miley for acting like the media had portrayed her as a sweet and innocent figure, when, in fact, Miley had been making jabs at Nicki behind the scenes. Nicki Minaj had officially put Miley Cyrus on notice, and the internet would never forget that moment. Number 11. 50 Cent versus Kanye West at the BET Awards. In 2007, 50 Cent and Kanye West were at the center of a heated rivalry, sparked by the release of their albums, Kanye's Graduation and 50's Curtis. Ahead of their album drops, 50 boldly stated that if Kanye outsold him in the first week of sales, he would retire from rap. Kanye's Graduation won that battle, and 50 was forced to eat his words. At the BET Awards, Kanye swept several major categories, leaving 50 frustrated. Instead of directly attacking Kanye, 50 took a more subtle approach, using the stage to throw shade. He made it clear that the BET Awards and the industry in general were increasingly more about popularity than true talent, indirectly criticizing Kanye's rise to dominance. Their feud didn't stop there. The tension continued throughout the years, with 50 repeatedly mocking Kanye's antics and Kanye firing back with his own remarks. This specific moment at the BET Awards was just another chapter in their long-standing beef. Even in defeat, 50 made sure to show that he was still a force to be reckoned with in hip-hop. Number 10. Jimmy Kimmel versus Donald Trump. In 2015, Donald Trump made the mistake of canceling his appearance on Jimmy Kimmel Live at the last minute. That small snub turned into something much bigger. Trump, who had recently announced his run for president, thought he could blow off the late-night host. But Jimmy Kimmel, known for his biting humor, wasn't about to let it slide. Kimmel quickly seized the moment, mocking Trump on air, setting the stage for a years-long battle. As Trump's political career began to heat up, Kimmel's jabs became more frequent and personal. Trump's role on The Apprentice had made him a household name, and Kimmel didn't hesitate to call out the show's creator, Mark Burnett, during the 2016 Emmys. In a sarcastic remark, Kimmel suggested that Burnett was to blame for Trump's rise to fame and political power, even saying, "If Donald Trump gets elected and builds that wall, the first person we're throwing over it is Mark Burnett." It was a savage moment that made it clear Kimmel was not backing down. Do you agree with Kimmel's criticism of Trump, or do you think it was just a cheap shot for laughs? Comment down below. Number 9. Taylor Swift. Thanks an ex while accepting award. Taylor Swift has always been known for using her music to tell her side of the story, but at the 2013 MTV Video Music Awards, she took it a step further. When she won Best Female Video for her hit song I Knew You Were Trouble, Taylor took the stage and made a point to thank someone who had inspired her music, her ex, Harry Styles. While she didn't mention his name directly, it was clear to everyone who the song was about. What made this moment even more significant was the fact that Taylor's career was just beginning to skyrocket. By thanking Harry in such a public way, she was acknowledging the painful public breakup that had played out in the tabloids. But more than that, she was showing that she had moved on and was thriving. Her message was clear. Even though she had been heartbroken, she was still at the top of her game. Number 8. Quentin Tarantino snubs Anderson Cooper. When Quentin Tarantino took the stage at the Critics' Choice Awards in 2013, he was there to accept an award for his brilliant work on Django Unchained. But what no one expected was the cold snub he'd deliver to Anderson Cooper, one of the most respected journalists in the industry. Anderson had previously criticized Tarantino's films, calling them overly violent and sensationalist. Instead of playing it cool or offering a polite acknowledgement, Tarantino completely ignored Cooper during his acceptance speech. He didn't thank the journalist, nor did he even glance in his direction. It was a moment that had the audience in shock. Tarantino, always known for being outspoken, didn't hesitate to make his dislike clear, showing that he wasn't willing to let past criticism slide. What made it even more intriguing was how it was all done in public, in front of Hollywood's elite. Tarantino's refusal to acknowledge Cooper was a statement, showing everyone that he wasn't interested in seeking approval from critics who didn't get him. Number 7. Johnny Depp speaks after winning trial against Amber Heard. After Johnny Depp won his highly publicized defamation trial against Amber Heard, the actor didn't just walk away quietly. He took the opportunity to speak out during a film festival in 2022, and his words were powerful. The actor, who had been blacklisted by Hollywood in the wake of the trial and media frenzy, gave an emotional speech, expressing his relief after years of going through immense turmoil. Depp's win was a major moment for him, not just as a victory in the courtroom, but as a reclaiming of his public image. For years, he had been painted as the villain, with allegations from Heard making headlines across the globe. Yet standing on stage, Depp proved that the tide had finally turned. He addressed the Hollywood blacklist head-on, making it clear that he hadn't just been hurt by the trial's aftermath. He had been shut out from the industry he helped build. The Hollywood elite had turned their backs on him, but Depp showed that he was still capable of making his voice heard and that his story was far from over. Number 6. Ricky Gervais roasts Steve Carell. At both the Emmys and Golden Globes, Ricky Gervais didn't hold back when it came to roasting Steve Carell, and the results were awkwardly hilarious. Gervais, who had created the British version of The Office, was not shy about pointing out how Carell's success with the American version had overshadowed his original creation. At the Emmys, Gervais made a public joke about how Carell, despite his fame, didn't deserve all the credit for the show's success. He even went so far as to demand his Emmy back, joking that he was the true creator behind the show's success. The tension in the room was obvious. Carell, who was nominated that year, took the jabs in good humor, but it was clear he was uncomfortable. The entire exchange turned into a funny, yet uncomfortable spectacle, and what made it even more bizarre was that Gervais would later continue mocking Carell, including at the Golden Globes, where he poked fun at Carell's American Office success while downplaying his own. Number 5. Kanye West versus Taylor Swift. The moment Kanye West declared that he made Taylor Swift famous during his 2016 song, "Famous" was one of the most jaw-dropping, controversial statements in music history. The line reignited the long-standing feud between the two, a rivalry that began at the 2009 MTV Video Music Awards when Kanye infamously interrupted Taylor's acceptance speech for Best Female Video. But this time, Kanye's words were a direct challenge to Taylor's credibility and success. When Taylor won Album of the Year at the 2016 Grammys, she subtly addressed Kanye's jab, referencing how people will try to undercut your accomplishments and take credit for your success. She didn't name Kanye, but her words were obviously aimed at him. It was a brilliant moment of payback for Taylor, who took the opportunity to emphasize that her accomplishments were hers to own. Number 4. Seth MacFarlane's We Saw Your Revenge. In 2013, Seth MacFarlane took hosting the Academy Awards to a whole new level with his infamous musical number. MacFarlane had always been a controversial figure, known for his boundary-pushing comedy in Family Guy and American Dad, but at the Oscars, he wasn't playing it safe. His musical number included a tongue-in-cheek listing of actresses who had appeared topless in films, poking fun at their roles. The moment wasn't just shock value. It was a calculated move to defend his style against those who had called him out for being too bold or inappropriate. It was as though MacFarlane was saying, "You think I'm too much? Here's more." While some in the audience laughed, others were visibly uncomfortable, showing just how risky his humor was. All in all, the moment was a savage statement that Seth MacFarlane was unapologetically staying true to himself, no matter what the critics thought. Number 3. Zayn Malik's subtle jab at One Direction. When Zayn Malik won New Artist of the Year at the 2016 American Music Awards, the win was a pointed moment of personal revenge. Having left One Direction in 2015, Zayn had already distanced himself from the band that made him famous, and his acceptance speech only reinforced the fact that he was now walking his own path. With a calm demeanor and a subtle grin, Zayn delivered a speech that was all about his personal journey and achievements. He made it clear that his success as a solo artist was his alone. No more sharing the spotlight with the group. He spoke openly about the process of finding his voice, something he couldn't do while in One Direction. It was a quiet revenge against the expectations that came with being part of a worldwide phenomenon. And his win was his reclaiming of his identity after years of being part of a massive, cookie-cutter boy band. Number 2. Elton John publicly shades Madonna. In 2012, Elton John didn't just take home an award at the Golden Globes, but he also managed to throw some serious shade at Madonna. During a post-award conversation, Elton openly criticized Madonna's performance at the Golden Globes, where she was nominated for Best Original Song for Masterpiece Elton. Never one to hold back, expressed his disdain for Madonna's praise, and called her out for her lack of class in the way she approached the industry. This was a public feud between two music legends who had long been in competition for the spotlight. It was a shocking moment, given the Golden Globes' glitzy atmosphere, and one that would go down in history as one of the most direct celebrity clashes to happen at an award show in years. Number 1. Jerry Seinfeld calls out interviewer's question. In 2015, Jerry Seinfeld found himself in an unexpected confrontation during a morning show interview. The question was a seemingly harmless inquiry about the lack of diversity on his show, comedians in cars getting coffee. But what could have been a simple discussion about the nature of his guest list quickly turned into a fiery exchange, with Seinfeld calling the interviewer out for even bringing up the topic in such a way. Seinfeld, known for his quick wit and sharp tongue, didn't back down. He pointed out how the question itself was overly calculated, and he didn't mince words. He stated that comedy wasn't about checking boxes, and his show was simply about finding interesting, funny people to talk to, regardless of their race. It was a perfect example of how Seinfeld used his platform to push back against a trend in Hollywood of forced diversity, making it clear that his brand of comedy was about authenticity over superficial diversity. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Click the next video for more exciting content.